Welcome, my friend. I am so excited to have you on this program. I cannot think of a better topic to go in on when it comes to business than slaying the marketing monsters that we have in our business. Somebody was recently asking me, do you really have a sword, Sean? And the answer is yes. It is actually technically a machete. And when I saw it at REI, the sporting goods store here in the U.S., I thought I have to have that, if nothing but for this one point that I want to make about slaying your marketing monsters. And I think that made it. I think people are starting to visualize this big, scary, hairy monster chasing them down and having to cut that monster down to size. So as we begin, I just want to start with a ground rule. My first and most important ground rule is that you are undivided attention with me right here, right now. I want you to not have any interruptions or distractions. And the reason why is I'm making this a turbo webinar so that it's extremely relevant. In less than 30 minutes, you're going to get some good nuggets of wisdom. And I don't want people knocking on your door and pulling your attention away or having you try to check out your Facebook news feed or keep your email open. Be here with me right now, just like I'm here with you. And if you can do that for just 30 minutes, then we can have some quality time and you'll get the most out of this. Because I'm going to offer some things to you here that I have not shared before, and I think that it's going to be very valuable no matter what products or services you're selling. Alright, so let's talk about marketing. My mentor, Joe Polish, if you don't know Joe, well, then you probably don't really understand marketing, because he's probably one of the top experts and geniuses when it comes to marketing. And his definition of marketing is that marketing is all about storytelling. It's all about using things like props, taking things like a giant machete and making a point in a simple little picture or an explanation. It's about telling a story that gets a person to suspend their disbelief temporarily, where they are enjoying the plugging in to the details of everything that you are sharing. Whereas marketing is different than sales, because sales is not about the storytelling. Sales is about the influential conversation that you're going to have. And we have all kinds of conversations in a sales opportunity. We might be offering them something and then set a time limit on it. There's lots of different ways that we can do things to influence somebody to make a decision or not. And that's sales. We're not going to be talking about sales here, though. We're going to be talking about marketing. And I'm excited to learn from Joe Polish. I actually moved from Chicago, Illinois with my wife Mindy a few years back, about 3 years ago now, to be close to Joe Polish, my marketing mentor, because I wanted to learn everything I could about marketing. I wanted to be able to study every little scrap of information out there on marketing. And I'm most excited that in November, mid-November, November 13th to the 16th, Joe's going to be speaking at my conference. I have a conference coming up. If you are interested in becoming a public speaker, you might want to check it out. The website you can go to is actually SeanStevenson.com/ the number 1, the number 0, the letter K. So SeanStevenson.com / 10K. But you can look at that later. That's not what we're going in on today, but that's just something I'm excited about because Joe Polish is one of many marketing experts that's going to be presenting at my event. So you've heard Joe's definition, that sales is an influential conversation, whereas marketing is about the storytelling. And I want to tell you my definition of marketing and the juxtaposition to sales. So sales and having to get sales are like oxygen. And when you're in business, you have to have sales. If you don't have cash flow coming in, a business will fold. You can't pay employees. You can't handle distribution. You can't handle the real estate that you're housing everything in. You need sales. It's the lifeblood of your business. Just like you need oxygen to stay alive. If you actually can go weeks without food. You can go a certain period of days, I think, without water. You can only go for a few minutes without oxygen. If your brain doesn't get the right oxygen, it will start to decompose and it start to shut down, and then eventually it leads to ruin and death. And so the same thing with your business. If you don't get sales, it will shut everything down. That's why you have to understand that sales is the oxygen, so your lungs is the marketing. When you take a deep breath in, do it with me right now. Take a deep breath in. That ability to take that oxygen into your lungs, have the lungs expand, and then be able to have that oxygen be used by the bloodstream and all the little intricacies of the body and how we process oxygen to stay alive is important. You need your lungs to work, just like you need your marketing to work. But what's very hard in running a business is dealing with the times when we are scared, when we are holding our breath and we are petrified of our marketing monster. So let me break down what I think the marketing monster is in your life. The marketing monster is that beast. It's that scary creature that lives in your head that tries to talk you out of sending out a promotion, writing an email offer, sending out a campaign, putting together a promo video, writing a blog post, attending a networking event, putting together a brochure or a physical mailer and mailing it out. Anytime you talk yourself out of taking that step in marketing, you let the marketing monster own you. And guess what's on the other side of that marketing monster? It's all the sales. It's all the cash flow. It's all the profits. And I can't tell you enough that the marketing monster has nearly eaten me alive on many occasions. And the marketing monster, if I could define it even further, it's that beast that fears being called pushy or salesy. It's the part of us that fixates on a concern about what other people think of us. How often do you worry about what other people think of you? Just think about it. Are you worried about sending something out and somebody saying, you're clogging up my email inbox? Or why? Or, oh my goodness, I can't believe you're actually sending me a mailer in the mail. Or, I can't believe you're actually asking me to reach for my wallet and spend money on you. Anytime you have those fears or those insecurities that somebody's going to be upset with you because you have something to offer them, then that beast, that marketing monster, grows larger and larger and hairier and scarier. And therefore we go running for the hills when we are not willing to fight. We're not willing to attack the marketing monster. The last way that I could continue to define what the marketing monster is, well, it's actually something that you may not be aware of. And that is that it's a beast that fears success. It fears you actually getting the sale. It fears you actually growing and expanding your business. I've been in business for nearly 17 years now. Made well over $1 million in sales as a speaker, and have continued to service clients around the world like Walmart and Nike and Whole Foods and Zappos Shoes and Purdue University and the Federal Aviation Administration. I have been blessed with some top-notch clients. And I can tell you that the only reason why I got those clients and have made the money that I have in my business is because I didn't let the marketing monster win. Now, let me explain to you, that doesn't mean that at times the marketing monster doesn't scare me, and sometimes that marketing monster doesn't have me cower. Yeah, but I have to stand back up again. I have to brush myself off and use what I'm going to teach you today. I'm going to teach you 3 techniques that you can do to slay your marketing monster. But I want you to know that when you're taking these action steps, you have to know that it's actually scarier to succeed than to fail. Why? Because when we fail, people come up to us and they say, hey, it's okay. And they pat us on the back and they give us that little drug that I like to call pity. And then we feel like, oh, they understand that the economy is tough. Oh, they understand that it's tough being in business today. And we get that surge of pity. But I want you to realize that pity is not a good thing. It makes you sick. It makes you weak. And it makes the monster be able to attack you with more aggression and do more damage to your self-worth. Look, I don't believe that being in business is all about making money, but I think it's one of the most important parts. If you're not in business to make money, then you have a nice charity or a hobby, and just call it that. Because if you're not in business to get the sales, the oxygen, and you're not in business to use the lungs to have your marketing channels operating, then you have a nice hobby, or you have a nice charity, and just call it that. But if you want to really expand your business, you got to know that it's gonna be tough. But it's the success that you're more scared about. Because as you get more successful, you actually tear out of your comfort zone. Yeah, that's right, I said it. Tear out of your comfort zone. And when you tear something, it doesn't feel good. When you go to the gym and you exercise and you put a weight in your hand and you're lifting that weight, you're breaking that muscle down so that it can build back stronger. That doesn't mean it's going to feel good every moment. Conquering your monsters that are the marketing monsters in your life is going to take some effort. I don't want to kid you. There are going to be some difficult times. But it doesn't mean it doesn't have to be fun. I want you to enjoy your business. One of the things that Joe Polish, my marketing mentor, who I've learned a ton from, he says that you have to have an elf business. It's got to be easy, lucrative, and fun. And I couldn't agree more. So, let's review here. The marketing monster is anytime you talk yourself out of doing some promotion or some kind of campaign, anytime you find yourself, well, that's not going to work, or I don't know if they're going to like it, the monster is winning. The monster has you on the ropes. Anytime you're afraid of what other people think, you're worried about being pushy or salesy, you're letting the monster win. And lastly, anytime you fear success, you fear, wow, what if this actually works? Then I'd actually have to hire staff, and I'd have to grow this business more, and I'd have to, be less lazy and actually do more. Anytime you're stuck in those 3 areas, you're letting the monster win. Okay? So now we have clearly defined what the monster looks like. I want to share with you one thing. If I could get a DeLorean and go excuse me. If I could get a DeLorean and go 88 miles per hour back into time and have that flux capacitor, do that time warp like Marty McFly, here's what I would do. I would go back 17 years to the day that I made my first $1. And I would tell younger version Sean, listen up. Study and master marketing. Build and grow your prospective list. Constantly be creating value for prospects so that they trust and grow a bond with you so that over time, when they're ready, they buy from you. Study and master marketing. That's what I would tell younger version Sean. But there's so many things that when we're running a business that we worry about. We think about, oh, we need to be over here on this project. No, we need to be over here. Look, your main business is not to worry about your business plan. It's to think and put your emphasis on your marketing plan. Because without a marketing plan, you don't have lungs to take in the sales. You can never have a sales conversation if you don't have sales tools that you're promoting into the world. So I would go back in time and I would share that I need to market the heck out of my business, and I need to be okay with those moments that I'm scared. So here's the top 3 ways that you're going to slay your marketing monster. Number 1, you need to stand your ground confidently. Now, what does that mean? Well, people confuse confidence with arrogance all the time. And I really disagree with calling them the same thing. Because arrogance is about proving yourself. It's about puffing your chest out and acting like, you're perfect and you have it all together. But nobody's perfect. Nobody has it all together. I know that. You know that. And so it seems weird when people act like they do. Confidence, unlike arrogance, which is about proving, confidence is about improving. It's about putting something out there and seeing how it's responded to. It's about putting something out there and see how people interact with it and then tweaking it here and there until you have just the right formula. Confidence is about improving your methods. And so when you are scared to market, when you are scared to put something out there, just remind yourself that the first thing you need to do is stand your ground. So let's look at this for a second. Imagine that a giant dragon was coming up. I'd have to get my stance, right? And I'd have to have my weapons ready. And I'd have to be in that position. And I would have to have everything planned out to be able to whoosh, have that attack to take down that marketing monster. And the same thing with when you're going out into the world, expanding your business and putting your marketing materials out there. You have to do so confidently. When you come into a sales conversation, part of what makes people want to buy from you is how well you believe in yourself. How much do you believe in yourself? Because if you come in there and your voice is really soft and you're like, "Hi, would you like to shop at my store? Would you like to hire me as your therapist or coach or speaker? Would you like to have our specially made pizza that we do in our own restaurant?" I mean, if you brought that kind of energy, I wouldn't want to spend $1 on you. But enthusiasm is contagious. I have read so many books that my marketing mentors have taught me that are important. And one of them said that enthusiasm is so very valuable. And if you want to slay your marketing monster, you gotta be ready. You gotta have your mindset sharp. And one of the ways that you can do that is by working on your own self-confidence. I do believe that our self-worth determines our net worth. The better I feel about Sean, the more confident I am about being able to bring value to your life. Also, a part of confidence is knowing that what you have to offer is going to help them. And when you're being all insecure and you're worried about what other people think of you, you've lost track and you've lost sight of why did you create that business in the first place. It was to help people. It was to solve problems. And so if you believe that what you have to offer is worth it, then you're being selfish by not sharing it. So, slaying number 1 technique is to stand your ground confidently. And there's lots of things that I do to develop my confidence that I'm going to be sharing with you at the end here. Second thing is, you have to be consistently swinging your sword. You got to be constantly whoosh, 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 making that monster duck and weave and get scared and be running away from you. So what does that look like? Well, I think consistency in marketing is about remembering that marketing is all about timing. And that until something becomes immediately emotionally urgent to your prospect, let me say that again, immediately emotionally urgent, it's deemed not relevant. Because if it's not immediately emotionally relevant, we just store it on the shelf in our mind. We turn it out. We tune it out. We turn down the volume. We step away. We don't care. Something has to be immediately emotionally urgent. And we don't know. This is important for me to share clearly. You don't know, and your prospect doesn't know when the prospect's going to need your product or service. Okay, let me say that again. You don't know, and neither does your prospective client know when they are going to need your product or service. They're just going about their business. Everything's hitting them up. They're getting Facebook messages, Twitter posts. They're getting emails, text messages. They're getting signals on their television. They're getting mail and junk mail in their physical mailbox. And so you don't know when that moment is going to happen, when they are immediately emotionally ready and it's urgent to buy your product, to have your service, to bring you into their life. And when you continually dripple, that's not a word. When you continually trickle, or drip, I mixed the two. When you continually trickle out your marketing over and over and over, it's like taking swags, whoosh, whoosh, continually in that monster until that monster falls down and you get to have access to your fortune. Because you don't know and the client doesn't know when it's going to become immediately emotionally urgent for them to buy from you. And so you don't have to feel bad that you sent out 9 emails to them before they bought. You don't have to feel bad that you brought up your service or product in a conversation to them 4 times until they buy, 12 times that you meet up with them and you're talking about what you have to offer. You don't have to feel bad. You don't have to feel bad because until it becomes immediately emotionally urgent, people don't pull the trigger. So you need to be ready and you need to be consistently swinging that sword. And the last thing on that point is you need to be an awesome distraction to your client, to your prospect, because they're constantly getting distracted. So you need to be the best distraction. It's like when I was a speaker to schools and I would talk to parents and I would say, you can't be the only influence on your child's life, so you better be the best influence. You can't be the only influence on your prospective buyers, so you better be the most outrageous, the most fun, the most enthusiastic, the most valuable, so that when it's immediately emotionally urgent, they go with you. The last thing I want to share with you is you need to take crazy swings. You can take the little swings over and over and over, but sometimes you need to take huge swings at the monster. Why? Because, as my good friend Randy Gage says, safe is the new risky. Safe is the new risky. What does that mean? Well, I believe that if you're doing things that have been done before, or they're emotionally neutral, or they don't shake people up, they don't rattle people, well, then you're not being strong enough in your marketing. The most outrageous things that I've done in my marketing have paid off the most. When I put on a dance party video and I thought, I'm going to act like a goof for 3.5 minutes as Kesha plays the song, Your Love Is My Drug, and I dance on camera, I knew that was outrageous. But I also had this feeling in my gut like, this is outrageous enough, it might actually work. I also knew that when I put together a short little commercial online, cost me nothing to put together. I put it online talking about a product that I was offering, and it was a little risky. It was making people see me in a position that they hadn't seen me before, where I was kissing a woman and talking about money and building your life, and it was really outrageous. But that one outrageous commercial that cost me nothing to put together, but it cost a lot of overcoming a fear, that was put online, and a few days later, it got me a spot on Jimmy Kimmel Live in front of national television to market my product and service. And it was in those moments of risk-taking that I got the best business opportunities, because nothing has brought the value in like that silly dance party video that went over 1.1 million views. It got me on that TV show, Jimmy Kimmel Live. The things that I've done, it's that moment where I have that crazy business idea, and I think, well, is this going to work? Are people going to like it? Boom. That's when you have to swing your sword. That's when you have to act. Because until you take crazy swings, you're not going to get incredibly extraordinary results. So let's review them quickly. Number 1, you need to stand your ground confidently. I'm going to give you a big opportunity to be confident in a moment. Number 2, you have to consistently be swinging your sword. You have to be consistently marketing, because until you hit the person when it's immediately emotionally urgent, they're not listening. And lastly, you need to take some crazy, extraordinary actions, because until you hit them in a way that breaks through the distraction and the noise to grab their attention, they're not paying attention to you. So that's the 3 things that we can do to slay our marketing monster. I hope that this 30-minute webinar was of great value to you, because the marketing monsters do not need to be attacking us any longer. We need to be going out into the world, offering our products and services unapologetically, with enthusiasm and love, because when people feel that we're truly in the right place, that our heart is centered, and we are making that marketing conversation, that use of our marketing lungs, they want to buy from us. I hope you got value out of today. Thank you so much.